Hey, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, The Dark Side. So today we will take a look at the case called The Night Stalker that took place in America in the late 90s.
Richard Ramirez was one of the most vicious serial killers in the American history. He was a Satanist who will slip into Californian homes and brutally assault and murder the families inside. He was born as the youngest of 5 children in February 1960. He came from a very harsh childhood. His father had a violent temper and was very often away from his family. Richard's parents both worked a lot, which resulted in the kids starting to get in trouble. Examples started Richard's older brother to sniff glue and broke into houses with their cousin, and later Richard witnessed his cousin shoot his wife with a gun at only 7 years of age. Richard used a lot of his time by himself, and he played a lot by himself in the yard. Someday, when he was only 2 years old, he was reaching for a radio, but then a dresser fell on his head and he got 30 stitches and a concussion. And only 3 years later, he was at a playground when a swing knocked him over. He was sent to the hospital and got home with more stitches. He started to get seizures and got epilepsy, but it's not known if the seizures came from all the head damage.
We also have visit from Richard's childhood friend.
Welcome. My name is Young Artist, and I want to explain a bit between my relationship with Richard Ramirez. I was his best friend when we were younger. We got educated in US in Texas. And I remember, of course, I don't remember all these details, because it's been a long time ago, it's many years before we have been in contact. But we lived up in Texas, and I remember when in school we were classmates, and I remember when the school ended, we always used to take to the playground, and at the playground, and it was well fun, and every time when the school ended, we also took at Richard's home, and I remember when his mom cooked some homemade cookies, and it was some good memories, and we were best friends. There was a lot of things that we were interested in, and we had the same interests, and there was a lot of things that we could relate to. But yeah, as the time went, I remember he wasn't the same anymore. He wasn't the same type anymore. He every time I called him, he never took his phone and he never replied. As the time went, I could just feel there was something wrong. But I was like, maybe it's just normal. Maybe he just wants some privacy or something like that. But as the time went, and he just wasn't the same anymore. He was involved in many trouble and problems. In a lot of trouble and many problems, and started to also rape women, and be a deep criminal, and I was really surprised, but in the same time I also felt there was something wrong, but I was surprised because he was not that type. He was a really fantastic friend, and he was a good friend, and we had some great memories.
So in March 17, 1985, the Night Stalker's first murder took place. He raped, beat, and killed people. He did not have a specific pattern, such as that he only went after women. He went after everyone. He was called the Night Stalker because he broke into innocent people's houses. Many of them were killed in horrifying ways. He shot them, stabbed them, and abused them. But other survivors, as our next guest, Anastasia Haranch, she was only 6 years old when this took place.
I was 6, and my first memory of that night is the window opening, being woken up, and then being carried out of the window. It kind of hurt me to say that there was a family He reminded me of a family member. And you know, I was only half asleep. I didn't know what was going on, so I thought, well, that's okay. I know him, so I guess this is okay that I'm going. I don't know how long I was in the car or what I looked like, but I do remember there was a point where we were driving and he looked at me. He said, you know, open up the glove compartment. And I did, and there was a gun inside. After he shut it and just kind of like, just so you know, that's there. And then we got to where we were going. He made me get into a zipped up duffel bag and he told me, you need to be quiet, you need to get in here. Like, don't mess with me, do what I say. We had to walk through a room with a couch and everything was dark and kind of dingy. The windows were covered, food patches and takeout stuff around. Very not my house. There was just this soundtrack of Madonna going on. I remember saying, stop, this hurts, don't, or like, why are you doing this? You know I did say like, can I go to the bedroom? And he will stop what he was doing and take me over to the sink and sit me on it. And then nothing will happen for a while. Then he did take me back and continue. And I will ask again, I have to go to the bedroom, can you please stop? And he will keep stopping, but each time it's like, alright, I know you don't have to go. Something in the way he looked at me, that it was almost like, I'm sorry that I'm doing this to you, but I'm not sorry, cause I'm not going to stop. He put me into the bag again, to leave the place we were. And after a while we stopped on the side of the road and he said, there's a gas station over there. I want you to go in there and I want you to tell them to call 911 so they can get your family to come get you. And so he let me go.
And next we have former investigator Jill Garillo, who will give us a review on how they approach the case and then explain how.
Hello, my name is Jill Garillo. I was a newcomer into the LA County Sheriff's Department and the homicide team when I was put on this case a couple years back. It was probably one of my most brutal cases of my life. I was a young man and I was a rookie. When the case started, I didn't expect it to take over my life. It was a struggle for my family and my friends to see the case eat up my life. The Night Stalker was a man and an animal. He killed and raped children and more. All ages was what he killed. He didn't have a pattern. He also did his killing in non-pattern way, so he was hard to find. All his killing was also spread out the whole city. We got close to ID him a couple of times, but it was never 100% match, and it was kind of like a cartoon character. He was always described with long arms and long legs. But one thing that was 100% in his face, that was that all of his victims he raped, and that analyzed his face, was that he had crooked teeth. When we finally got a positive ID on him, he went for a run. But the whole city already knew him. So we got jumped by a lot of citizens and held back till we came over. And then they passed him over to us. It was weird. It wasn't like he was scared or nothing. He was proud. He was a man. He was happy. He felt like a man. He didn't think he was a little boy anymore. He got famous like he always wanted. It was weird. Even when he's dead, he still gives me chills. I then remained in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department homicide for a total of 38 years. And that's including the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department homicide for total of 38 years. And that's including the 24 years after I solved the Night Stalker case. During that time, I have had 700 and 800 homicide cases. And I retired in 2009.
I hope you enjoyed. Also, see you next week for another episode of The Dark Side.